I'm Suzy from Women's Fight News, and I'm here with British boxer Jordan Barker-Porter. Thank you for joining me, Jordan.
No
And how
worries.
are you?
I'm good, yeah. How are you?
Yeah, good. Apart from the fact that my video's not working, so I can't actually you can't see me, and no one else can see me. But at least we can see you, so that's the most important thing.
Yes, exactly. Let's go. It's like lightning on the screen.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. So the big thing I wanted to talk to you about, the exciting thing that you've just announced, and we had a show of last night, is SAS because we saw you in the
Yeah,
Vietnam jungle. I mean, how was all that?
crazy. I mean, obviously the boxing camp that I had back in September wasn't a boxing camp. I was in the jungle getting absolutely tortured. Um, and watching it back last night, and the episode was crazy because that was like 3 full days worth of footage condensed into 47 minutes. So like a lot of what we went through wasn't even shown. So it still might have looked like brutal to everyone else, but it was actually 10 times worse than what was shown. Um, and obviously there's so much more left to come. So yeah, crazy experience.
I mean, it looked beautiful, I must say. You know, when you do the like the first shots and you're seeing sort of all the jungle and you're coming in on the boats. I mean, how beautiful that looked.
Oh, honestly, like you had to take it in. Like it was such a surreal like environment that you were in. Like certain tasks and things. I mean, you've seen a snippet of it in last night's one of the waterfall. Like that's just something you don't come across like every day, where we're abseiling down a waterfall. So you like really just had to like soak it up. Although we were getting absolutely beasted and tortured. There was moments where you could just look around and be like, wow. Um, and even getting to see like a small snippet of Vietnam prior to going into the jungle, it was just like surreal. Like it is a beautiful country. But yeah, jungle was a different environment.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably you weren't able to appreciate the beauty so much when you're being like beasted and
Oh yeah, 100%. It was just crazy. Absolutely, like what Billy said on the first trailer that come out. It wants to eat you alive before you even get in there, and I totally understand that now.
was that we had the scene with the bum. Was that bites or a rash or
Yes,
what
no,
was
so it
it?
was a rash. So like literally, to be fair, the full camp, like within a 24-hour period, everyone woke up the next day like rash head to toe, me including. And the second day it got so painful, it was so sore to touch. But it was just part of the process. We got told like obviously you're in a new environment, you're in dirty water, like we're in wet soaking clothes. That's pretty much stuck to our skin, so it was inevitable we're all gonna get this rash. So yeah, it was just awful. Once you got used to it though, like it kind of like a couple of days settled down a little bit. Your skin kind of got used to that environment a bit better.
Yeah. And that first challenge, heights. How are you with heights? Because that was pretty crazy.
Do you know what? Going in, I actually thought I was okay with heights, and the Asters, the asked am I okay? Like, is that one of my fears? Blah blah blah. And I was like, do you know what? No, like I'd high myself on rides. I'd go on the biggest of things you can do. But it wasn't until you were actually in that moment at the top, and I was actually shitting myself. Um, so I realized, like, yeah, I have got a slight fear of heights, and yet, to be fair, it's stuff that you'd never do at home. So going on a ride's like obviously a bit different, but I was just looking down thinking, shit, because like it was a lot taller. It seemed a lot taller when you were up there. Um, so yeah, it was very scary.
How many? Because it's hard to tell even on the screen exactly how tall it was. Because you see the cranes, you think, oh, it's tall. Like how many stories high would you say that was? Like how many sort of houses?
Mm. Yeah, but do you know what? Like that climb up as well was killer. Like it's got to be, I would say at least like 3 houses on top of each other.
Wow.
Like that climb up was killer. Like it felt like it went on for days.
Yeah, I was gonna say because they don't make a big thing of some of it. Like you say, you don't see everything. I was thinking
Yeah.
even just climbing that ladder, I would have been petrified, to be honest,
Oh,
not
yeah,
even
but I
challenged.
said it. Yeah, I said Amy last night when it was showing that bit. I was like, I was packing by the time I got to the top. You know, like actual heavy breathing. Like I'd just done a full fight.
And then I think I saw, because you asked some questions on Instagram and I saw some of your answers. You're saying that they
Yes.
didn't show, because they unfortunately they didn't show much of you up there, but you're saying that you hit yourself on the way down.
Yeah, so I unfortunately failed the challenge. When I went to step over the wooden bit, I got there, I did the exercises you needed to do, like touching your toes, all that shabazz. And then I'd stepped over successfully with one foot, and my back foot tripped on the wooden thing. And as I was falling, the pole actually hit my chin. And to be honest, it was like what I can imagine taking a clean shot from Canelo. And they didn't show that. So yeah, that was kind of wild.
It's crazy, because you would think they would show stuff like that, because that would have been quite not nice for you, but quite entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I don't think like to be honest, a lot like they showed a couple of falls, but it wasn't to the extent of what actually went on. So that's why it was like you didn't really get a full snippet of the challenge from our experience.
Yeah. And the other challenge you mentioned about the waterfall, we didn't get to see you on that. So will we see more on the next episode?
I don't know, to be fair, because it just showed you like we don't know what's aired in what episode. Everyone got the heads up kind of before this one went out. But for next week, it's the boxing challenge apparently. Don't know what else they're going to show. Whether they're going to carry on from some of the waterfall, but it's all a surprise to us as well. So we see it live. What like obviously I know what we went through, but I don't know what snippets they're going to show at what point and what footage they're going to show. So what's aired is like kind of news to us as well.
Yes, you don't know what you can say almost about it.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what's gonna I don't know if any more of the abseilings is going to be shown, but put it that way, that was another wild one.
Because they left us on a cliffhanger with the I don't know which contestant it was, but he was sort of hanging, looking like he was going to drown.
Yeah, so I had a message last night saying, please tell me that lad is okay because I'll not be able to sleep.
It did look pretty
Oh,
horrendous.
God.
It didn't look like they could get up there quick enough.
Yeah, like even the bit going up, like before we got to the top to then abseil down, like that was pure beasting. Like we were doing sprints, like the steepness of the hill to get to the top was crazy. Um, to the point where it shows you a clip of one of the lads was projectile vomiting. And one of the other girls was nearly passing out. That's how severe it was, and like the heat was just next level. But they didn't really show much of that. It was just kind of a little snippet of someone coming down. But yeah, we got absolutely tortured before we got to the top of there before coming down.
That's crazy. Because like you say, we don't see the half of the torture you go through.
Yeah, like beasting to the next level.
What was the food like?
Awful, like disgusting. Um, pretty much on plain white rice every day.
At least you think, oh, if I can have a little bit of food, keep me going. No, it's all of it's living and breathing it.
Yeah, it was just like even at the point when I come home, I was like, I don't want to see any rice for a long period of time. Oh,
And you touched on next week's about the boxing. So obviously they showed a couple of clips from that challenge, and it
they
was
did.
nice that they showed you having a nice little
Yes.
shot there. Because
Yes.
I have to say, watching these programs, the SAS with the boxers, that's the bit the boxers always let themselves down on almost because they don't want to like show off or they don't want to do a proper fight. It was nice to actually see you get a shot in.
Yeah, well, it might be the only shot that they do show that I get in. But I totally get it now. Watching it, I'm like, why aren't they? And I totally get it now. I've been in that challenge, in that position, because although it's a boxing challenge, you're not actually boxing. That's not what they want from you. They just want you to windmill, and just like brawl, basically. And I'm like, I totally get it. Like, obviously, for someone that's like, if you've boxed for years, of so experienced, you're learning like to move, hit, move. Like it's hard to like just continuously then throw your hands because you just want to be technical.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it was still a good challenge. It's the one I was looking forward to the most.
Yeah, definitely. And because the thing is, there's a lot of pressure, isn't it, being a boxer into that challenge?
Just like it was just a real watching everyone else as well, because there was actually there is another boxer in it. So there's two of us. But yeah, obviously everyone else was like inexperienced, like not got a boxing background, so it was like interesting to see who they put with who. Um, and then you'll see a little bit more on next week for me and who I get put with.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'd be really good. Because I'm guessing that they put you with someone, tougher because obviously being skilled, they probably set you up with someone like bigger, stronger.
Yeah, put us with a lad.
I'd imagine,
Old
yeah.
school.
So how was it being away from obviously your wife and your daughter? Was it quite tough for that? Because obviously other side of the world and that length of time.
Do you know what? I knew it would be tough leaving them because I am a home girl. Like I love being home. I never spend really like nights away. And although I'm like very busy on the go, like we are like passing ships sometimes with like my training schedule, her work, my work. It's like we know we're there on a night time. Do you know what I'm saying? But so and then because Jersey wasn't even one at this point, so I thought like I'm gonna miss out on some like key moments potentially. Um, and the time difference in Vietnam was quite difficult to try and time it right, so like I could try and catch them when they were like just waking up. Um, so yeah, it was tough, especially like in the jungle, having zero contact with the outside world. Because I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't even know if they're okay. Do you know what I mean? So, but like obviously you're busy, so like I just had to try not to like. Although they were my strength, they were also my weakness, if that makes sense. So I had to try not overthink it too much because it would have been at the point where I was just like, I just want to be home. But I'm not a quitter, so
And you can see that from the later in the programs, and later on they always show family videos from family because, like you say, it can be a weakness as well as a strength because they want to see
yeah.
reaction, don't they?
Well, like previous seasons, they've done like the FaceTime, and they did take the details because they were planning on doing that. I'll not give too much away because obviously it's not been aired yet, but there is a little bit of something. But yeah, just had to keep my head screwed on because, like I say, they're my strength, but they were also a weakness in the sense because I didn't have any contact with them, and like obviously they're my home, so it was tough.
And you said that it was filmed in September.
Yes.
Um, so thinking about your boxing camps and things, do you think that affected your boxing camp at all, or it was okay, it was the right time, or because obviously you fought in December and it didn't go your way. So I was just
Mm-hmm.
wondering if that had an impact at all on that.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I took the loss on the chin. I didn't come out and say this, and this, and this, but 100% I shouldn't have fought. I shouldn't have fought after being on it. I should have allowed my body and my mind, more so than anything else, to recover and like wind down. There was just no wind down. I had 2 days when I come back, and pretty much straight away I'm back to work, sorting shit out. At this point, the biggest transition as well is Amy was back at work full time. She went back full time when I was actually away. And obviously I was used to having her there when she was off on maternity leave for like nearly 9 months. So then I'm straight back in a boxing camp. I've had no really rest or time off. And getting in the ring 7 weeks later, and it just 100% backfired.
I mean, I think with the scorecards, it was a bit unfair because it doesn't reflect how close the fight was. Because obviously, I think the fight, personally, having watched it, I feel it was a lot closer than what it betrayed. Because I felt like obviously you'd had the cleaner shots. It was just the fact that she appeared to be a lot, to be busier in that. So I
Busy,
think
yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel that yeah, it's just unfortunate, isn't it, with boxing sometimes when people just see the result but don't realise how close it was.
Yeah. And look, like I didn't get my arse handed us on the plate, which is a good thing. Like, yeah, she had an overhand right, which she landed a good few times because obviously I got a bit lazy with it. But a lot of our shots were like I was still making a miss. I just wasn't thrown back. It's like I was telling me, it's like my mind just wasn't connected to my body that night. That's the only way to describe it. It's like I was telling myself to throw and I couldn't throw. And it is frustrating because I do think I won a couple of rounds. I was shocked when they give her every single round. I was like, hang on. But look, it is what it is. I take it on the chin. It's on me. It's on my shoulders. I decided to fight, and I just have to deal with it, move on. I've had the time off I needed over Christmas. I feel like a different person coming back since having that time off. Away from boxing as well, because obviously I had a very busy year. So yeah, reset the batteries, reset the brain, and we go again this year. Like, a lot of people think on the back of a loss, that's it, your career's done. Like, no, it's not. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and I'm not scared to get in the ring. That's the difference with me. So one fight, one fight, one win, and we're back in the mix. So,
and like you say, anybody watching that will realize it's not like you say, it wasn't like a one-sided massive loss or anything that you were doing
no.
bad things wrong at all. There was, like you say, there was a reason for it.
That girl was with a week and a half notice as well. I was fighting her. She was the Spanish champion. Like, she was no divvy. I knew she was gonna bring her A game. But yeah, it was just a bad night in the office for me. It was a bad fight camp, if I'm honest. There's so many things that could have been done differently, should have been done differently. The first 3 weeks when I come back from SAS, I felt like shit, and I remember even saying to my coach, like, why do I feel like this? I didn't feel sharp. I didn't feel strong. But then looking at it now and taking a step back, it's like, hang on, I was on completely different food for a full month, like lack of nutrition, like the beast in what we've just went through physically and mentally. So, like, come on, I'm not a robot. I maybe thought I was, but like, I just yeah, just completely and utterly fucked, to say it politely. That's the only way. That's what I was the back end of the year. But yeah, it's on my shoulders. I did it.
But I mean, otherwise, the rest of the year was amazing. You had such a great
Oh
year
yeah,
boxing, didn't you? Because, like you say, you had 4 great wins. I mean, your fight against Zoe Hunt-Smith. I mean, loads of people in the boxing world regard her really highly. That was a great win, and stopping Bec
definitely.
Connolly. So, I mean, you had a great year.
Yeah, all good vibes, and that's why it was disheartening the back end of the year. But I've got to admit, like, I've dealt with defeat before, and I put myself in that position again the back end of last year. So I knew how to deal with it this time, and it was all on my shoulders. Like, I decided to fight because I thought I could just be kind of not untouchable, but I just thought, yeah, I'll do it. It's fine. I've just been through that. If I've been through that, I can do anything. But it was the complete opposite, and like, I just took it on the chin. Like I say, it's not. It was, I was sick. I was gutted. I got emotional. I'll admit I cried, but like, look, it was a lot easier to deal with this time because, like I say, I've dealt with it before, and it's not the end of the world. Like, I'll come back. I'll get good wins in, and like you say, I've been in 50-50 fights in what, like, me fourth fight or something. I was fighting Zoe Hunter-Smith, so like, I'm not scared to get in. I know when I've had a good camp and the right time off, like, I can put up a good fight against anyone. I'm confident with that.
So, thinking about the year ahead, what are your plans? Have you got anybody sort of in mind? Have you got any sort of titles in mind?
I've definitely got someone in mind. It's already been mentioned. I've got the fight on the 7th of April. Good explosive win. That's what I want. Get my name back out there, and then there's someone in the division I want. So yeah,
You name names, or are you just keeping it on the down low
I'm
for the
going to
minute?
keep this one locked up until get the 7th of April out the way first. But there's someone I want, and listen, I'm more than happy to be in the away corner for this one
Yeah. Wow.
because I'm
Okay.
that confident.
Well, I'm gonna look forward to that. I can't wait. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good
It's
year.
gonna be good. Yeah, yeah. Just take me time. There's no rush. There's plenty of opportunities out there. The lightweight division's juicy. So yeah,
It is. It's getting busier and busier, I'd say, the lightweights.
yeah, definitely. And then there's, to be honest, the way that it's going for the females, people are moving up and down weights like all the time. So there's opportunities at different weights as well.
Out of all your fights so far, what would you say has been your favorite fight?
Um, I enjoyed the atmosphere um for the one for Bec, but I would actually probably say the Zoe fight was a good fight. Like, the first 2 rounds as well, I was losing. She outworked us. So I knew, right, there's only 4 rounds to go now. So I had to step it up in the 4 rounds. I did exactly that. So like I had the grit and determination to just knuckle down and do what I had to do. I was a bit of a slow starter in that fight. So yeah, that was that was a good one as well at the Stadium of Light, the first female ever fight at the Stadium of Light at a football ground. So it was an unreal experience. So yeah, I'd probably say that one.
That was good. You know, like you say, she's so well regarded. For you to get that win, that was a good win on your record.
Oh, definitely.
And what would you say is your toughest fight?
Um, I don't know. It's hard because I mean, toughest fight out of everyone, or including like losses as well.
Any that you just feel, yeah, it could be for any reason, your own reasons to why it was tough, I guess.
I'd probably say the Zoe fight, to be fair. That was a tough fight. It was 50-50. I'd have to choose that even over my losses, because the thing even is with my last fight is, though I lost that, like I knew I was the better fighter. It's just I didn't perform on the night. She got us on an off night. So yeah, I'd probably say Zoe was a tough fight. I had to like dig deep for that one and just try and outbox her a bit.
That's the thing as well about some of these fights. So going back to the one in December, it's so annoying when they are busy but they miss, because I think
Yeah,
that sometimes the judges think that they're getting you and they're
the
not, and
London.
then you
Yeah.
watch back and you're like, no, they missed like 90%.
Yeah, that is frustrating because for me as well, like as you've probably seen when we fight, like I do like a move. I am a mover, lateral movement, like rolling, dipping, whatever. So like I can make someone miss all day long. It's just in that fight I didn't kind of make them pay. But yeah, the way they made it out is so like obviously a lot of our shots just didn't land. It was frustrating. But yeah, it's one of them.
I was watching that thinking, yeah, they've like missed most of them, but
Yeah,
yeah.
like she's thrown a flurry of 4 shots, and I've made her miss all four. But hey ho.
I was going to ask you because you were saying how busy you've been. So you still working full time as a PT as
Yeah,
well?
so still get me sessions in. I've got classes running again from next month, so it's busy. Um, but woman's got to do what woman's got to do.
And seeing as you, because you obviously a very active person, being a boxer and then a PT as well, what's your favorite bit of training? Is there a favorite part of it?
Um, yeah, I love sparring. I love sparring.
Good. It's a good one for you, seeing as your profession. It's
Yeah,
good.
like, do you mean like for me training or training
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
else?
yeah. You know you
Yeah, me
personally.
training. Yeah, I'd probably say sparring because I feel like that's when you can learn the most and put things what you've been working on for weeks and weeks into practice. So, and it's a sense of achievement. But there's some way you might like have a shit spar, but it's about how you then correct them wrongs you've made in the next spar. So yeah, it's definitely sparring.
And what about your least favorite?
Um, I mean, I'm not a lover of running. It's not my most favorite thing to do mentally, but I love the satisfaction afterwards and I love hitting a PB. So although it's absolutely awful during it, especially when I'm doing the red zone stuff, like it's afterwards you feel absolutely mint.
Yeah, do you know what? It's funny because I think it must be a boxer thing. Boxers like the sparring and hate the running, because I always
Yeah.
find it's quite a common thing. Everyone's like, yeah, running or sprints, hate sprints.
Like sometimes like boring as well. Like if you've got a oh, I'm going for like a big slog now run, like 45 minutes an hour, whatever, like it's like this is a bit repetitive sometimes. Like, I can't do it on a treadmill anymore. Like I'd have to get out on the road, like so you've got that like movement.
It's definitely harder on a treadmill, I think.
Yeah, it's like you just sat there. Like sometimes in a gym, it could be looking at a wall. I'm like, nah, that's not for me. I'd rather just go out like nice around. And luckily, I'm near the coast, so like we've got some beautiful scenes around here. So like, especially in the summer, it's lush. Like you can actually enjoy your runs a lot better.
So then it becomes not your least favorite.
Yes, not in the summer because I absolutely love running in the heat. Believe it or not,
Well,
that's when I've hit all my best PBs.
we go. So come the summer, it's going to hopefully start getting warm at some point.
I know, freezing.
Yeah, it's too cold, isn't it?
Yeah.
It must be colder where you are, up in Newcastle. Where it must be
like -4 and that, like ridiculous.
Yeah. Thinking about how you are you're getting more well known, and obviously you've got your social media presence, you've quite a lot of followers on TikTok. Do you feel like you're a role model now, and especially is what you've been through, because you're quite an inspirational person and you've been through sort of a lot of adversity in your life? Do you feel like you sort of can be a role model for people?
Yeah, definitely. Like I have like quite a lot of people reach out to us and say that now as well. Which like it's some of the messages I get a lot like from younger people as well, like that are looking up to you and like starting the gym because you've inspired them to start the gym, and I'm like, wow, like that's unreal for me. So like, and people have admitted they've seen my story and that's then helped them, or like they've thanked us for sharing my story, and being open and honest. So yeah, I would like that was always kind of the purpose for me in sharing a little bit of my background, to try and help someone else, because for so long I kept things under the carpet and it never helped us in the slightest. So like, by then getting stuff off your chest, like it helped me. So by me then telling my story, it's helping potentially someone else.
I mean, I was, getting to know you as well on social media. It's quite nice hearing your story and learning what you've been through, because I know that you've been how many years sober now? Because I think what an achievement that is.
As of this Saturday, 5 years.
Wow, that's impressive.
5 years. And that's how I've been in long boxing, amateur and pro. So it goes to show what you can do with mindset. And that's why I share my story, because at one point, yeah, like I wasn't perfect. Nobody's perfect, but I feel like I've got my shit together now. Like, and it's just like, for me, I try, and even with my own clients, I try to like kind of drill that mindset in them, that like, if you believe in yourself, you can achieve anything. Like, your mind is what will stop you from doing something. Like, and there's only you that can make a change. And that was how it worked for me. Like, I kept making the same mistake over and over and over again. I got locked up. It wasn't enough to change. I keep telling everyone I was going to change, and I never did. And then it was just a light bulb moment, and I did it on my own, not because everybody else was telling us to do it, because I knew at that moment it was the right time to make a change. And that's what I try and tell people, and that's why I share my story.
And it's lovely because then you show your story of how you are now. You're a successful boxer. You've got a lovely home, wife, daughter. And I think it's lovely that people can see that you've worked for all that and where you are now.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why it's just hard work. Like, just keep grinding. And that's why for me, yeah, the end of the year didn't go as planned, but I take all the positives that did happen that year, and that's what's going to lead us into success this year. And just keep my head screwed on. Like, a loss isn't the end of the world. I've just got to take it on the chin and show people what I'm about, and that I can put on a good performance.
Definitely. And moving on from that, what with what you know now, what advice would you give your younger self?
Just believe in yourself and be who you want to be. Don't be afraid or worried about what someone else is going to think, or how they see you. Just be free. Just do what you want to do.
Sounds good. And finishing up with some boxing predictions. Obviously we've had TaylorSerrano, the first fight, which was amazing. What do you reckon goes down in a rematch that we're hoping to get sort of this year, probably May time?
I don't know, like, obviously they both know each other's style now, so that they'll have figured each other out a bit more, but like, obviously they're going to want to mix it up. But to be honest, I thought it was a very close fight. I thought Katie was quite lucky to get the win. I thought it could have went either way, put it that way. You wouldn't have kind of argued either way. But Katie always does finish strong, so I think that's what helps her, like, especially with the flurries. Like, she's just constantly throwing. But I don't know, Amanda Serrano's strong cookie. So if she brings a different A game and brings a different angle to the fight, like, she could be the first woman to defeat Katie in my eyes. But I don't know.
Exciting. It's exciting the fact that we're still all like, oh, it's 50-50 all to play for.
It is, yeah. I don't think anybody, even though Katie won the first one, it's not like where she's the obviously she's going to be the favourite to win still, but like in my eyes, it could go either way.
And what about ShieldsMarshall? If they there's talk of a rematch. Don't know if it'll be this year or next year, but how would you see that going? The same way or different?
Same way, if I'm honest. Like I think on the night, Clarissa was just different gravy. Yeah, whether it happens or not, I don't know, because I know there's whispers of Clarissa fighting and Tasha next.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be honest, in my opinion, I would say it going the same way.
But there's talk even about, well, I know that Marshall wants it to be sort of your neck of the woods, but I'm not sure for a rematch back in there.
I've seen the few things on social media about St. James's Park. I mean, that would be absolutely unbelievable. First boxing at St. James's Park, like the atmosphere there, and the Geordies do it different. I mean, I'm not originally I live in Newcastle, but I'm from just outside of Newcastle. But like I see it myself, like even with the football and stuff, like they're just the different type of supporters. They're just absolutely wild, and it's meant to see. Like it's so imagine like a big boxing card there. And don't get us wrong, if it did happen, like obviously everyone would love to see Savannah win. There was so many people supporting Savannah on that night. It's just whether she could mix it up a bit and bring a different fight to Clarissa this time.
Yeah, quite nice to see Marshall do like have some bites in the meantime, not do an immediate rematch.
Yeah,
Sort of build
definitely.
on it, like you say, build on a different game plan, build on her.
100%. Get a couple more wins under your belt, then get the rematch going. Boom, there we go.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for chatting to me. And
No problem.
there's so much to look forward to this year because I can't wait for the rest of the show. And you
Yes.
fight in April and the big one come the summer then, hopefully.
Hopefully, big news summertime. So yeah. Just next episode out next Monday, 4 p.m. Channel 4. Let's go.
Yes, can't wait. Let's see you getting that fight, getting that ring.
Fight game going strong.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Jordan.
No worries, thank you.
Thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please hit like. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. And why not check out any other videos on the channel? You can follow Women's Fight News on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.